All right, let's jump right into one of the biggest, maybe the biggest question in advertising. It's something every single marketer, every business owner asks themselves constantly. Are your ads really working? I mean, really selling more stuff? You pour all this cash into these big campaigns, but how do you know for sure that they're the reason people are buying? What if those customers were going to buy from you anyway? You know? It can feel like a total black box. Well, what if I told you we could crack this whole thing wide open, using something pretty much everyone loves? Yeah, we're going to figure it all out using pizza. Let's do this.
Okay, so picture this. You own a local pizza shop. You decide to run a digital ad campaign to bring in more customers. And to figure out if it's actually working, you do what any good marketer would do. You set up a classic A/B test.
So here are the numbers. Pretty straightforward. You have your exposed group. These are the folks who saw your ad and they bought 25 pizzas. Nice. Then you have the control group, the people who didn't see the ad, and they still bought 10 pizzas. So all in all, we're looking at 35 pizzas sold. Simple enough, right?
So, you look at these numbers and you think, hey, the ad worked. And yeah, it seems like it did. But how do you measure the true success here? I mean, what's the best way to actually quantify this, to turn these raw numbers into a real metric that helps you make smarter decisions next time?
Well, it turns out there are two really different ways to slice this pie, so to speak. You can look at it through the lens of efficiency, or you can look at it through the lens of impact. And these two approaches have names: relative lift and incremental lift.
Okay, let's dig into the first one, relative lift. The best way to think about this is like it's your microscope. This is the tool you use to zoom way in, to get super granular, and to really optimize the day-to-day performance of your campaigns. So what does it actually measure? Relative lift answers a very specific question. How much more did the group who saw the ad buy compared to the group who didn't? See, it's all about comparing the behavior of those two groups. It's a head-to-head matchup.
Think back to our pizza shop. Relative lift is like looking at a bunch of different mini pizzas. Each one is a different tactic, a different ad creative, a different audience, a different channel. And your job is to figure out which little recipe is working the best. It's all about those small, tactical tweaks.
So for our pizza shop, the relative lift is, wait for it, a massive 150%. I mean, that sounds amazing, right? And it is. It means the group that saw your ad bought 1.5 times more pizza than the group that didn't. That is a huge difference in performance between the two groups.
And that is why this metric is so useful for day-to-day stuff. You use relative lift to answer those nitty-gritty tactical questions, like, is this audience performing better than that one? Is this creative killing it compared to the old one? Which channel is giving me the most bang for my buck? It's all about becoming more and more efficient.
But here's the thing. Efficiency is only half the story. You can be really, really efficient at something that doesn't actually move the needle for your business. So now, let's zoom out. Let's talk about incremental lift. If relative lift was the microscope, think of this as the wide-angle lens. This is about real-world impact. So incremental lift asks a totally different question. It's not about how much more did one group buy. It asks, how many of my total sales happened only because of the ad? See that shift? We're not just comparing the groups to each other anymore. We're comparing the ad's results to the whole business.
And this is where the analogy gets really good. We're not looking at a bunch of little pizzas anymore. Now we're looking at the whole pie, your total sales for the day, and we're asking a simple question. How big of a slice of this entire pie can we thank our advertising for?
So for our pizza shop, the incremental lift is 43%. Now hold on, that sounds a lot less exciting than 150%, doesn't it? But don't be fooled. This number is arguably more powerful. It tells you that of the 35 total pizzas you sold, nearly half of them, 43% or 15 pizzas, would not have happened without your ad. That is the real bottom line impact on your business.
And this is the metric you use for the big strategic questions. The questions your boss or your CFO is going to ask, like, is this campaign actually driving new demand, or are we just advertising to people who are going to buy anyway? What percentage of our total sales can we actually attribute to marketing? This is the number that proves your value.
Okay, so we've got this flashy 150% relative lift and a more grounded 43% incremental lift. So which one is the right one? Well, that's the trick, right? It's the wrong question to ask. The truth is, you absolutely need both of them to see what's really going on.
And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory.
There's a real-world example from the ad tech company Viant. They actually learned this lesson the hard way. Early in their reporting, they focused almost exclusively on relative lift. And what happened? Their clients got super efficient at targeting these tiny, hyper-responsive audiences, but their overall business wasn't growing. They were winning all these little tactical battles, but they were actually losing the war.
So let's just boil it down. Relative lift, that's your tactical efficiency. It's asking, how much more effective are my ads? And it helps you make your ads work harder. Then you've got incremental lift. That's your overall impact. It's asking, did this drive new sales? And it makes sure all that hard work is actually growing your business. If you only look at one, you're flying half blind.
All right, as we wrap this up, there's one core idea I really want you to take away from all this. It ties everything together perfectly.
It's this. Great marketing isn't just about improving results, it's about ensuring those results actually matter. Think about that. You can improve results all day long, getting that relative lift higher and higher. But if those results aren't making the whole pie bigger, if they don't matter to the bottom line, what's the point? You've got to use relative lift to sharpen your tools, but you have to use incremental lift to make sure you're building a bigger house.
So there you have it, the difference between relative and incremental lift. A huge thanks to the folks at the AdTech AI Files for the insights that powered this explainer. If you want more bite-sized ad tech content like this, which is super important in our AI-driven world, you should definitely check out their show. It's called the AdTech AI Files, and you can find it streaming right now on Spotify. Thanks so much for tuning in,